Hey guys, I'm Dieter Melhorn. This is my son Grayson. Today we're going chasing catfish on a new lake, Lake Monticello.
Oh gosh.
That'll make the outtakes.
Yep.
Alright guys, I'll give you a little setup here for what we got. We're on Lake Monticello in South Carolina. I said it's a new lake. It's not totally new. You don't see me filming a lot down here is what it comes down to. Actually, my personal best blue catfish came out of here about 5 years ago, 61 pounds. Caught it on New Year's Eve. About 600 yards from where I'm anchored up right now. It's a small reservoir in South Carolina. It's very deep. There is some 160-foot water in this lake on the lower end. So it's a very deep lake. There's a lot of standing timber in it, full-grown trees that were never cut down. The other unique thing about this reservoir is it's not built on a river. They did not dam up a river to create it. They basically built some dams, dikes on the lower end of it and pumped water into it from an adjacent river. So it's unique in that the only current is current being released from the nuclear plant, and that's the reason the lake was actually created as a water reservoir for the nuclear plant on the south end of the lake. So yeah, it's a unique reservoir. There's no real current. It's extremely clean water. It's some of the cleanest water you will see. That's mainly because there's no major inflow into it. There's a pretty good rise and fall depending on what they do with the power, and I think they can generate power by dumping water out of here during peak demand. So there's pretty good rises and falls here in the lake, and if there's any current, that's where it comes from, but no real river inflow or anything like that. Like I said, standing timber. There's parts of this lower end you really can't drag through because once you get above 70 feet deep, it's standing timber, full-grown trees. And we'll try to show you some shots of that on the down scan. So we're anchored up. We're going to anchor up here for a while. Got 6 rods out with some gizzard shad. Baits on the bottom. We're started marking fish in about 40 feet of water. So that's kind of where we're anchored up. We got the baits, and we'll see what we can get onto. As you can see, it is slick as glass out here today. These are our lines right here, folks. We've got some lines down suspended, one around 30-ish, one around 40-ish, and we got a fish right there in the middle of all of it. Let's see if he eats. All right, guys, got a little hookup going on with Grayson. We were anchored up. Let's try that for about an hour. Never got bit. Decided to drag some baits down through here. It ain't no monster, but it's a fish. Hopefully we'll get the skunk out of the boat. If he takes line, let him take it. I didn't think he was that big. Let's do this. Reel down. All right, go under that one. Good job.
What if it's the world record?
It's not a world record, but he's acting like he's bigger than I thought he was. He's acting like he's bigger than the take now.
Look at the rod.
We haven't seen him yet. If he takes it. There he is. I know. Not doing real good. May lose him. Got him. First fish of the day here on Monticello. Looks like a big mean male with that big mouth and that big head.
He looks like he has teeth.
Good fish. All right, let's get him back in the lake. Bring him in on this side. Put him in right there. Hold on to that.
Yes, I didn't get poop in my hand.
It's a good day when you don't get poop in your hand in our world. All right, guys, so bring you up to date. We sat over there anchored. We anchored on the spot at the end of a hump and had baits out for about an hour. Never got bit. Rods never moved. so we decided just to do some drifting. We're trying to pick an area. This lake has a lot of standing timber in there, and I'll show you what it looks like here when we come up on some. So we're trying to drift some areas that don't have timber, see if we can get on some fish. We got that one. It's a fickle lake. Good buddy of mine, Chris Simpson from Fighting the Blues Guide Service, fishes here, probably knows the lake better than anybody, and I'll put a link down here in this video in case you ever want a guide down here on Monticello in South Carolina. He knows the lake better than anybody, and he says it's very fickle. He has a love-hate relationship with it, and it can reward you greatly, as it did with me. We just looked up my personal best. It was 2010 is when I caught it, and then you can have days where you come here and you wonder if there's any catfish in this lake. So the nice thing is hardly any boat traffic. It's really nice. It's not supposed to be any jet skis or water skiing or anything like that, so it makes it very nice, especially in the summertime. So we're going to keep dragging. It's a up and down kind of bottom here, so we're going up some stuff, down some stuff, just to kind of see if we can figure out any kind of a pattern. This is like what a lot of you guys face if you don't get to fish a lot or you go to a new body of water, because I consider this something, a lake I don't know. I really don't have anything figured out on this lake. It's just coming out here and trying stuff to see what works, and that's what we're doing today. So sit back and we'll see what we can do. All right, guys, made a move to another part of the lake, and I think we got one hooked up. It's just so small that we're sitting here hoping it'll pop off. See if he's on there, Grayson.
Which one?
That one right next to the motor. Try the motor rod. I think that one may have gotten hooked up. You there? Yeah. What we did was we came to another part of the lake where we could make a pretty long drift without hitting any timber. We caught that one fish coming across some of the trees. And that's kind of the game out here, is dodging where the trees are. Watch out for the drift sock there, buddy. Get you hooked up here. You go to that side. Steps on something here. Water bottle. Little blue, little blue. Lift him up here. Crank down, reel down on him, and lift him up here. Easy, easy. Don't flip him off. Back up where I can get him. There we go. I'm a monster. Monticello blue cat. Yeah, I did kind of get it. It's the only bad thing sometimes some sort of hooks roll into the eyeball, but at least I make it back alive. See what else we can get. Oh, there goes one right there. There goes that outside rod. And reel down and lift him up. Oh, popped him off. Good job. Got a quick release on that one. Get back on another small one, so we're not stupid. We can at least catch fish. We just need a big one.
Okay, we still have him. Oh, he's fighting. Oh, he's a good one. He's probably gonna be our record for the day.
He wouldn't have loaded up and come up that. I think it's a decent fish. I don't think it's hung. The way you tell if it's hung, pull back and stay right there. Do you feel the head move? Okay, that means it's a fish on there. Yeah, he's up toward the top of the water. Yeah, because the boat's moving, you'd be ripping line if that wasn't a fish. There you go, just come straight with him. Just come straight with him. There you go. Go back to this side. Work him on that side. There you go. I think I got too much line. That's that one rod that was out way far behind the boat, so you may be winching on him for a while.
I think this is gonna be our first real best.
Oh, don't know about that.
Well,
I
not
think
personal best. Personal
it's going to be the best one today, I think.
Yeah. Well, there's a-
God, I put way too much line out. I let that one roll out too far.
Well, it was worth it, okay? It was worth it.
I see him out there. He's on top of the water way back there. Decent fish. Just keep tension on him. Give you guys a little quick update. We did move down the lake, came to an area. There's not a lot of timber, not a lot of stuff in the water. And we're able to make a pretty good drift down here, a nice long drift. We got the big drift back. Go to the, come right up through where you're at. Sorry about that. We're figuring out which way we're going. Okay, no, don't come across them, come straight up the middle of them. There you go. Let's just see what happens with the lines here. Keep that tip on the side of that one. There you go. There you go, work straight up and down. Let's see. Okay, do this real up. Got that clear of it. Come on up, come on up, come on up. There you go. Back. Monkey games begin. All right. Okay. There you go. Go to this side. That'll be good.
Make it look like it's a monster.
Well, I don't think he's a monster, but he's better than what we've caught today.
Oh, yes, he's our biggest today.
Yeah, that's good. There you go. Good job, pal. There you go. Get him out. There you go. Over there. See if I can get a picture before the battery dies on this camera. Stay there. Lift him up one more time. Alright, let's see if I got a fish on here. Grayson, turn that down for me, please, just for a second. Thank you, pal. We don't need any copyright infringements going on here. Welcome to the YouTube world. Oh, that is a beast, son. That is a beast. Look at that. There is no shortage of future stars here in Lake Monticello. How that thing ate. Even got hooked by an 8/0 circle hook. I don't know. I was actually reeling in to check bait, and that's what was on there. But crazy. Still doing good. Still dragging. Trying to catch some fish. We're in about 70 feet of water right now, so we'll keep dragging. See what we can find. Oh, we're in Little Fishville. We're catching fish. We're catching fish. We just ain't catching no big fish. Grayson is winching on another one. Another one, another little one. Hopefully he's still on there. Some of these fish are so small we can't even tell if they're still on the dadgum rod. That's how small some of them are. And what's bad is most of the fish are hitting small bait, so it's kind of a paradox of even the 17 and 12 pounders. Dadgum, look how little that thing is.
Can we just use this thing for bait?
Reel it up here, look at that. I'm amazed that we're actually hooking these fish down here. Look at that, guys. We're actually catching that fish. I mean, hold the rod. There you go. I'm just shocked that we're actually catching fish that small and they're actually getting hooked. But that's crazy.
Like a bass?
What do you do? All you do is fish and you have fun. We're catching fish, okay? It's a first world problem when your fish are too small, okay? There are people starving to death that would die to have that fish somewhere in some backwoods place somewhere. So we got it good. We got it good. It's our Grayson's board. He's been wanting to jump in the lake, so I said put on a life jacket if you can jump in the lake.
But it's gonna be there's gonna be a twist to this. Something different. There it goes. Okay. I'm scared.
Well, don't do a flip then. How was that?
Awesome!
Good. All right, guys, we had a pretty good day out here. We put a dozen fish in the boat. We got one in the teens. That ain't too bad. Grayson lost one. We didn't even get the camera rolling. Might have been another decent one. no super whoppers that are in here. We know they're here, but just didn't get them today. Caught a lot of fish, caught a lot of little ones, so there's a future stock of fish for next few years to grow into some monsters. So appreciate you watching. Be sure to hit subscribe if you like the video, and if you got any questions or comments, where do you leave them at?
Comment section.
There you go. We'll talk to you guys soon. Hope to see you on the water.